So welcome from Juneau, Alaska. So we're in a parking lot right now. One thing you should know about Juneau is the Tongass National Forest is here. It's actually the 6th largest rainforest in the world. It's a temperate rainforest. So believe it or not, even though it's Alaska and there's mountains and it's a little bit chilly, there's still a lot of green, lush vegetation everywhere. And everywhere there's been these rhododendron bushes. This is just in the parking lot, but they do fantastic here. They're all just thriving. And it just makes me think of my rhododendron bushes at home. My two that made it through last winter look like they're gonna die this summer in the heat. And maybe it's just too hot in Pennsylvania. Maybe rhododendrons need a little bit of cooler weather. So just thought I'd point that out. Hey everyone, so now we're back in Pennsylvania again. I'll just point out, I chipped my front tooth if you're wondering about that. I'm getting it fixed, but for now I look a little strange. So anyway, I wanted to show you, it's been about 3 weeks since I went to Alaska, and yes, my rhododendron bushes are very much dead. So I think the problem is that this whole bed right here is pretty much in full sun for a majority of the day. When we were in Alaska, my aunt who lived for a long time in Connecticut said that while she was in Connecticut, her rhododendrons did great, but they were always in part sun. My mom also said when she used to live in Pennsylvania, her rhododendrons did fine, but again, she thinks that they were in the shade. So if you live in Pennsylvania, you could probably very easily grow rhododendrons. You're just gonna have to make sure that they're not blasted by sun. When we had the heat wave this summer, where we had multiple days in a row of 90+ degree weather, maybe if I had been out here every day watering these like twice a day, they would have survived. But I prefer things that are a little bit more low maintenance. In the long run, you know, I don't want to be out here during heat waves multiple times a day taking care of things. I'd rather just have things that can survive. So unfortunately, these they're pretty dead. It's unfortunate. This one was, I really liked this one in particular because it was a little bit bigger. I think the wood is really beautiful, the way it kind of, its habit. And the flowers, when I did get them, were these beautiful pink flowers. But the other issue is it said that, you know, they're supposed to be kind of like an early summer flower, but the flowers would always come up like the first nice day, and then it would always get cold again, because here in Pennsylvania, your first nice day is usually followed by a frost again. So the flowers wouldn't last very long because they would immediately die. So this was overall a very like finicky sort of plant. So I'm not like totally upset that it's gone. So I did go to Home Depot today and I bought this rose. All the roses were 50% off. They all looked like pretty much dead. I think they were on sale because it's towards the end of the season for the roses. Most of them just looked like dried to a crisp, and even at 50% off, I wasn't interested. But this one was not with all the other roses. It was like in a random corner, and overall it looked pretty healthy. It's unique. It's not like your typical rose. So here's one of the flowers. You can see it's very like a petite flower, a very pretty light pink color, and there's even some fresh blooms coming up, and it's these like really tight, they're tiny, so I think that's kind of unique and cute. I felt like traditional big red roses don't really personally appeal to me that much. So this is a perfume breeze. It says it's a small flowered climber. It says it like 6 to 8 hours of full sun, so mosquitoes, so it's gonna do fine here. Oh god. It says you got to keep the soil moist. Okay, I can do that for the first 2 weeks, and then, you know, plant it with a mound of mulch to protect it from extreme weather changes. And I know I am, you know, potentially asking for a little bit of trouble because roses notoriously have a lot of pest issues and things like that. So, you know, I'm trading in one high maintenance plant potentially for another. And I'm also, you can see that I had two rhododendrons, but I decided against, I was first gonna get two plants, but then I thought, I'm just gonna plant this rose centrally here. And then maybe like eventually get plants on the other side of it. But I think that this rose is actually gonna get pretty big, so I wanted to give it some space. You can see like my hydrangea is also getting bigger. It's gonna get bigger every year, so I wanted to make sure that that had enough space. So I will eventually go ahead and get that in the ground, not this evening, but just wanted to give you that update. Hey, so smile is back to normal. It's a nice day today. It's the weekend. I am going to go ahead and dig up those dead rhododendrons and get the new rose bush in the ground. Here we go. So I want to put this rose bush pretty much right where this celosia is, so I'm going to have to take that out first. I'm going to try to take it out as carefully as I can and try to replant it, and we'll see if it makes the transition. So I just finished planting the rose. I used some cow manure to fill in the hole around it and mounded it kind of around the rose bush. What I'm going to go and do right now is just add a layer of mulch over everything, also get rid of the excess dirt. So let me just take care of that. Okay, all done here. So now I'll give you a quick overview. I just went in and put some mulch around the rose that I just planted. I had this extra vinca plant that needed to go in the ground, but I've obviously been neglecting watering it, but I just put it in here. You know, if it watered a lot, if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The celosia that I transplanted is super wilting, and so like here's the healthy celosia, here is the celosia that I moved out of the way to plant the rose bush. I think it's not gonna make it, but you know what, I tried. So yeah, the rose, you know, is in the ground now. It's obviously outgrown its trellis. I think maybe I will try to, you have to be really careful because this one is actually very thorny. Maybe I will try to train this to, you know, grow upright a little bit, like so, instead of sideways. So I started mulching this, and I just decided to use the entire bag. But I left this area kind of open because I'm thinking that I might try to get one more bush or shrub in here this fall so that it can start rooting for next year. Have to think about what I would want to put in there. For those of you who tuned in last week, no evident growth of the flower seed strip yet. And even though I know it's probably too late in the season, I do have 2 more pumpkins growing, one here and one, let's see if I can get the camera, one back there. So who knows, maybe they will turn orange, we'll see. And that's all for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Next week I'm traveling again for the majority of the week, but I will try to get out here and do some stuff because it's still warm and there is still a little bit of the season left, and I want to take advantage of it as much as possible. Thank you so much for everyone who regularly tunes in. I will see you next week. Bye.